I do want to ask you when we're talking about, all the moving and shaking that's happening in 2010 here. One of the things that I want to discuss is the way the crowd is reacting and responding to the show, specifically the dynamics of what's happening on in the park. As a reminder, TNA is recorded on a soundstage in Orlando, inside Universal, and when we have a live Monday night show, they're going to start the crowd at like 8 or 9 o'clock. So at that point, the park is closed, and the people who are in the building are wrestling fans, and they've got hot crowds. But if they're starting a show at 5 o'clock, well, now a lot of wrestling fans maybe haven't had a chance to get off work and get down to the building because, again, we're in Orlando. So you've got to travel there. So if you get off for your regular job at 5 o'clock and now the show starts at 5, I mean, you're not going to make it in time. And so it lends itself to it being more park users. How big of a frustration was the studio at times when it came to making sure the crowd was consistent with what you wanted to air on television, Jeff?
So I want to make sure because my thought was going in one direction, but I want to. At the end of the day, Conrad, it was, and I definitely made some folks unhappy kind of during this summer because, I mean, it was no secret there were some reactions in the studio that were not favorable, and I'm trying to paint a broad picture, but I mean, from the time Hogan said get rid of the six-sided ring, but not only that, he turned himself heel and didn't realize that, but they were spitting in the face of the models. It was decision after decision after decision, and the people weren't as engaged in the product because they began to see the Nasty Boys and Orlando Jordan and a new crop here and a new crop there, and just less than 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 months, it was different. Different. It was a different product almost, and so they started blaming everything but the product, but what was going on. And I said that to Dixie one time. I said, Dixie, do you have any context? Could it be they don't like our show? Oh no, and excuse after excuse after excuse. No, and just what you wrote here. Oh, maybe we're starting too early. Maybe we ought to move it back, or maybe they rationalize, justify, and minimize everything about the show except looking internally and saying, hey, maybe we suck writing this show. Maybe the decisions we're making are wrong. Maybe what we are doing is not the solution that we need to be giving the people, because it was at times that's Universal Studios flat. I'll just say that's the easiest thing. They just weren't responding. And I just like, this is unbelievable how quickly Dixie is tearing the product down. It was those are the thoughts that went through my mind in 2010.
Let's talk about Hulk Hogan. He's going to make the news because he's going to have some bone spurs removed from his lower back. He's been hurting, I guess, since the Australian tour. He's able to leave the hospital the same day as the surgery, which took like 4 before he's going to be back on TV. But Meltzer would say, right now, the feeling in TNA is that Hogan and Bischoff are not leaving anytime soon. Bischoff's producing the new Reaction TV show that begins in a few weeks, so it's a lock. He's not going. He needs a steady paycheck because his undisclosed out-of-court settlement to John Graziano for millions has, based on what he said, left him owing more money than he's worth. So we all know that Hulkster has had a ridiculous number of back operations, especially here in TNA. He's going to have several. He even has something done at the Laser Spine Institute that he winds up suing over. Later gets his own more conventional surgery that does reduce his pain. How bad was the Hulkster's back here in TNA, as best you can recall?
Well, and that's where you had to feel bad for the guy. If you've ever been in back pain, and I have, in my early career. It's excruciating, and you could kind of read it. Some days at Orlando, I guess you could say, just he would put on the best face he possibly could, but he probably was sitting there nauseated in that pain. It was rough because the way he would walk and not always be able to take a full stride, he was in pain. It sucked. I mean, and at one time I think he had like a device that that he could hit to like muscle stem, but also help with pain. It had something implanted in his spine. I may be completely off on that, but I knew that he was having ongoing issues that just over and over and over. And he knew it was, drop the leg every night, brother. but that kind of did his lower back in.
Let's talk about Mickie James here. It's written in the Observer that TNA is ready to bring her in as soon as her 90-day non-compete ends, which would be late July. Meltzer would say it would be good for her as well, as it at least keeps her on television in front of wrestling fans while she tries to market herself as a country singer. Plus, there are those in TNA who like the idea of having their talent appear in other arenas, with the idea that they have a promotion and they can get new fans from different genres, like Bobby Lashley and MMA. We know that Mickie is going to wind up being a pretty valuable member of the roster. This is interesting because, as best I recall, she was on the very first TNA show and then goes and has some success with WWE, and now she's coming back. Don't we all love summer vacation, relaxing, laying out by the pool, barbecues, hitting the beach, doing, well, nothing? Well, how about a summer vacation from your house payments? With SaveWithConrad.com, you can do just that. Reduce your monthly payments by making the equity you built up in your home work for you. You can roll together those high interest rate credit cards into one lower monthly payment and perhaps access some of that newfound equity to turn your house into your dream home with no money out of pocket. And how about this? You get to skip your next 2 house payments. That's right. You won't have to make your June or your July house payment. You're done until August 1st. Go right now to SaveWithConrad.com. Let my team run the numbers for you for free. There's no obligation, and if we can't help you save some cash, we won't waste your time. And did I mention we're offering a 3-year guarantee right now? That's right. That means if at any point interest rates improve over the next 3 years, you get a free refi. That's right. No new lender fees from us. So you get to save money now without wasting money later when the rates improve on a whole second set of closing costs. Why not go to SaveWithConrad.com and get a guarantee? Save money now and save money later with your friend in the mortgage business. That's me, Conrad Thompson at SaveWithConrad.com. Shoot me an email at Conrad@SaveWithConrad.com. Give us a call at 888-425-0105 or get yourself a quick quote. Even talk to a live person right now at SaveWithConrad.com. NMLS number 2129, equal housing lender. Let's take a summer vacation from house payments at SaveWithConrad.com.